Hi, I'm Michael, and I watched the season 49 finale of Survivor. I love me some Survivor. And my good friend Ben has seen a couple of Australian seasons, but never seen a US season in full. And he's here to watch season 49 with me.
Yep, and loved most of it. Not annoyed at all of it. Not
I
annoyed at
don't
people.
mind. Sorry, yeah, go on.
Not annoyed at people making questionable / stupid decisions. But yeah.
I'm on holiday at the moment, so you'll have to excuse my camera maybe moving around a bit while I record on an iPad. But I'll do my best to make it not seem like I'm on a boat.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, if you get seasick, I apologize for Michael's camera.
It does mean we're recording kind of a day late because unfortunately we weren't able to have a little bit of a chat while we were watching at the same time because I watched it delayed the next day.
mm. Yeah, as did a lot of America, apparently, because of Trump's speech thing that he televised, which interrupted the finale, which is
I
like,
actually don't know
what?
how long that went for.
No, I don't either. Probably too long.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that any is too long.
Yeah.
Well, getting political, look out,
Yep,
lost
yep.
viewers. Um, all right, so finale, and you were saying at the end, oh, this is quite long. You were not prepared for it to be quite as long an episode in full as it was.
Yeah, and I watched the after show as well because I thought, oh, maybe they'll show the thing about season 50, which they did.
Oh, the after show is always good. It's actually shorter than it used to be. It used to be that they would do like an hour, well, 40 minutes post. Well, they called it a reunion. They used to do it like months afterwards, like with a full studio audience or like quite a large audience. They would bring
Oh,
people
I
back, and
see.
they would look
Okay.
totally different, with makeup after they put weight back on and everything.
Yep.
But in the new era, they just do it straight after Tribal.
Yep. Um. Yeah. So this episode, from the fallout from the previous episode, where they'd just gotten rid of Steven. I think a lot of the remaining people were just like, "Oh no, what have we done?"
Sophia was definitely, oh no, what have we done? Like she was quite embarrassed
Yeah.
that it sort of didn't play out for her the way she wanted.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, I've just made a fool of myself in front of the jury, which she kind of did.
Yeah, she totally did. And I mean, we talked about it last week, but it's just like, what the fuck were you thinking, Soph?
Oh, I get it. It must be very hard to make a decision in the moment, but yeah, you did. You screwed it.
There's one point at this episode, which was actually split in two for some reason. It was really weird watching the credits after they went from 5 to 4.
Which caught me as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
go
But there was one moment, I know I'm skipping ahead here, when after the second challenge. Oh, sorry. No, I'm getting confused now. There was one point where Soph said, "Oh, I wanted to get rid of Savannah, and now I can't do my play." And it was
Yes,
just
I
like, yeah,
wrote that
you
down.
could have done that last week. It's just
Yeah,
like,
she said, oh, yeah, after she won immunity, was like, oh, I was ready to make a big move. Well,
yeah, you
if you're
could
only
have.
going to give yourself, and who could have foreseen that Savannah might have won the final challenge?
Yeah, who?
Ben.
It's just like, instead of being like, oh, finally she's not won it, so this is my opportunity. It's more like, no,
Well,
I'm
not
just,
yeah,
yeah,
sorry, not the
and
final challenge, but the last one that
I
meant
know what you
yeah,
mean. But yeah, it was just
yeah,
like,
much
yeah,
better.
and there was a lot of me, a lot of me realizing, have I underestimated Soph here? Because in the end, she did surprisingly well, and
She made it pretty interesting at the end, for
yes,
sure.
I okay. Let's go back to the beginning though. Okay, so didn't sorry,
I'll,
go.
I'll just go to the fact that it was split in two, at least on the Channel 9 app that I was watching in Australia. That I just started the last episode, not realizing that it was sort of split in two. So the first thing I saw was four people walking up the beach,
It's
which
like, oh,
was
spoilers.
basically halfway through the thing, and I was like, oh, okay. So I guess Christina's gone. And then I went back and watched the second last one. I mean, it wasn't actually. I was going to say it wasn't a surprise that Christina went, but actually, it was a little bit of a surprise. I thought they might take her
Mm.
into the last four, but as we'll find out, they had their reasons for not doing that.
Yeah. It did end up kind of interesting, and so I hadn't realized that Christina was like the fire girl on Survivor.
Well, they hadn't shown us any fire, but basically,
Yeah.
there'd been a bit of discourse sort of in the last week about, oh yeah, we're coming up to the fire challenge, and we've seen basically nothing about anybody making fire. So how are we supposed to judge or guess whether or not it's a good decision to take anybody or not up till now? Because we just haven't seen it. But it
mm,
turned out the reason that they hadn't shown any of that was because most of them had not basically
yes,
lit a fire, or Rizzo had done it a couple times. I think they either said or I heard
which I'd
afterwards.
found very funny.
It's actually awful. It really is. It's almost sort of unforgivable for people who put that much preparation into the game. And they talk about. I've heard just. I haven't consumed too much media yet because I didn't want to do it before we recorded this. But I did listen to the On Fire podcast with Jeff, and they had a short interview with Rizzo and Savannah separately. And yeah, both of them sort of didn't seem to, well, actually that's not true. Savannah didn't actually say, but Rizzo said, yeah, it was just an area, he was preparing for lots of other stuff, but he wasn't preparing for fire basically.
Mm,
And Savannah talked about all the sort of physical training that she'd been doing, in the lead up to coming on to make sure she was fit and good in challenges and everything. But it just seemed like everyone was, oh, well, fire. I guess I'll just leave that to chance, or hopefully I'll learn while I'm out there or something. It's crazy to me that
yeah.
people didn't put more effort into fire.
Yeah, at the beginning, because Jared, what my nephew watched this with me. Well, the first part of it anyway. He got sort of sick of it towards the end because it was just going on so
Well,
long.
for someone who doesn't watch Survivor and then he sits down with you for like 3 hours.
And I was explaining to him about Soph, the fact that she had been in a tribe that was basically decimated. They were just losing every single
Yeah,
challenge, and that for like the first third of the show, it was 2/3 of the cast still hadn't been to
yeah,
tribal council, which is just bizarre. Yeah, but let's go back. So the first thing that happens is a boat arrives and they've got a challenge for an advantage, or whatever you want to call it.
yep. And Christina doesn't decide at this point that this is a good time to put shoes on.
And she does note, oh, I've got no shoes on. Oh, this is not good.
I can't remember the numbers, but I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying at least the last 3 or 4, they have something like seasons. They've had something like this where they all have to go off and try and find an advantage at this point
You did
of
say
the
that,
game.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't. Oh, there's a boat coming. Maybe it's a good time to put on shoes.
But if I remember correctly, I don't think Savannah had shoes on either.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think it was just
I vaguely
Christina that was
recall that
talking
she
about
didn't
it.
have shoes. I might be
Oh,
misremembering.
okay.
But yeah, so the challenge is they have to go into the jungle and find bags of their color, bring them back. The bags all contain pieces of a puzzle, not a very complicated puzzle, unless you're Rizzo, of course.
That was an awesome sort of
Call back.
call back to the first episode.
Yeah,
Although
yeah.
why she didn't mess up the puzzle
Yep.
straight away, I don't know why you would. Again, it's just like such a. You've seen the show before, like unless you think you're not allowed to break it or cut. Well, I guess I haven't got anything to cover it necessarily, but I don't know why you wouldn't break the puzzle.
Yep.
I mean, it probably wouldn't have given her that much time, but he hasn't been great at puzzles.
No, and he's quite open about that. And he did say during one of the puzzle things, like, "Oh, if you really feel like I should have like practiced puzzles before I came on this show."
There's a lot of self-talk in this episode. Sophie, I was going to mention later as well. Like there's a lot of negative self-talk from her during most of the challenge, but then later on, she, a bit more. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah, that was the second challenge where she was like way behind, like so far
Yeah.
behind. And yeah, we'll get to that one because I definitely have thoughts on that. Um, but yeah, so they all go out, and Savannah has a pretty clear lead. She finishes that puzzle, gets all of the pieces, finishes the puzzle, goes to where the map that the puzzle forms indicates, and starts basically digging everywhere. And of course, the camera's like panning up, and there it is in a tree. She's
And I
digging.
and I liked on the map when you actually saw the map again, it was kind of marked. I mean, it looks like it's just marked on a position on the island, but where it's marked on the tree does actually, if you think about it the right way, suggest that it's on a branch.
Yeah. So, and
But
as
it wouldn't
every
be your first impression. Yeah.
no, she has a good 5 minute lead before anyone else arrives, apparently,
Mm.
because she does mention it. But eventually they're all there, and
Even
so
Christina,
yeah, Christina's there as well, and she was like
who
way last.
was
She was
fairly slow in running around. Yeah.
and Soph and Sage decide, hey, maybe it's up in the trees, and they start looking, and say Soph is
It's
the one
kind
that
of interesting that Sage says that out loud as well. Like, I guess it's going to be obvious if she's looking at a tree, but I did find it interesting that she was sort of suggesting to Sophie we look up. I don't know whether it's just part of being friendly or whether she thinks, oh, maybe I can still flip with Sophie if
mm,
one of us finds it and wins immunity. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know why you wouldn't just sort of keep it to yourself a little bit, but maybe
I
there was
was
something
surprised
behind
by
it.
that as well. I thought if I had that thought, I definitely would not be saying it, and I would try to hide the fact that I'm looking up instead
Mm.
of looking down. But Soph finds it and then finds a bamboo pole, which was just conveniently nearby.
I mean, I get that because otherwise you just you lock too many people out. There's people that just cannot climb a tree like that,
Yep.
so they sort of have to do it.
Yeah, sure. But even then, it's just like, God, Soph, this is not that complicated. She's like really struggling to get it down.
I know you say that. I would love to like give you a tree and a bamboo pole right now and see how long it took you to get down.
No, but she's like trying to knock it from the side. It's like you can just get it from the end and just knock it off the branch. It's not bloody glued
Yeah,
on there.
very true.
She's like trying to wave the friggin' end of the bamboo near it. But she does get it, and she gets the advantage. Congrats to her. I would probably say of all the episodes, she's definitely by far done the best and spoken down to herself the most in this episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, she wins the advantage, and we don't know what the advantage is yet at this stage.
And on that negative self-talk, I did laugh at Rizzo saying, after he read out what the challenge was, yeah, I'm cooked, chat. I was like, yeah,
Yes.
I'll grab that gift later.
It was very funny. So yeah, after that they all go to do their first challenge, which is just the intermediate challenge. Sorry, it's not the immunity challenge.
I think
Pardon?
it was both. I think.
Oh, was it?
I
Oh,
think it was
okay.
for immunity and reward. Yep.
Yes, that's right. Yes, okay, yes.
No
Yeah,
time in
so
the finale for a simple reward challenge, unless it's for a car. But you've never seen that, so.
that would be a weird challenge. It's like, okay,
But
how do they reward the
there was
car?
a,
It's
there
just
was
like, okay,
a
here's
there
your
was
car.
there was many years where due to sponsorships, and they've done it in Australia a fair bit as well. Due to sponsorships, like one of the rewards very late in the season is a car.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So was this the challenge with that slide down that Christina like came down really hard on? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, she's not in the next challenge.
Okay, no, this is the one. This is the mud dive. The mud dive.
How did you like the close up of Christina after she went? Oh, sorry, dogs.
I can't hear it.
You're probably getting all that.
No, can't hear
Really, you're
any of
not
it.
getting that? Wow, that is incredible. Yeah. How did you like the close up of Christina when she came through the mud net and it was just like mud like pouring out of her mouth?
And a nose.
Yeah, great
Yeah,
close up.
it seemed like she was actually throwing up a bit.
Yeah,
But it's also like,
and there
oh,
was another.
maybe you shouldn't be breathing it or swallowing it. Just
Well,
saying.
Jeff says just go for it. There's another bit where and I know I'm attuned to this because I've listened to On Fire, where Jeff goes on and on about the audio and video and stuff. But there was another bit where it was one of those negative self-talk bits from Sophie where she's struggling through the net.
Mm,
And I guess she's got longer hair, although she hasn't got it tied up because they've had people with their hair tied up that the net has been a real problem for them. Um, but yeah, she had her hair low, but yeah, there was a lot of negative self-talk. And there was one bit where she's just talking to herself, and I thought, man, the audio is so clean
mm,
there. Like she's struggling in the net. They're outside. They must have one of those. I don't know what they call those
boom
mics.
mic.
Those sort of the ones that where they really target, where the audio is coming from.
Oh, I think
But
that's
I'm
a
still
shotgun
thinking.
mic.
Oh, I was going to say that, yeah. But she's still under the net. She's still in the mud outside where and Jeff's shouting and stuff. Their ability to isolate all that. Obviously, they do it in post processing and stuff as well. Anyway, I know this is outside the game, but I'm like, man, that is kind of amazing.
Well, further on the outside the game thing, did you notice that there were camera shots of everybody diving directly into the mud pit?
Yeah, he talks about how before challenges, they think about where are the really wide shots going to be and where are the positions where they know exactly where someone's head's going to be, where they can position close in cameras, knowing that they're going to get a good action shot, or where they can do the super slow mos and things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so this mud pit, I mean, it got everywhere. Some of they came out practically unrecognizable in places.
Yeah. And again, this is kind of a callback because I think I mentioned it probably on the first one, but they pretty much do every season now. They do
One
a
of the
mud
first
challenge
challenge, yeah.
as their first challenge, yeah, or one of the first challenges, because he talks about it kind of birthing them into the game,
Yep.
and so this is a callback again, and it makes other parts of the challenge, like where they're on the barrel later, trickier.
It certainly does. I just wanted to go back to Soph struggling with that mud pit because she definitely is in there for quite a long time.
Yeah.
Like we've got people onto the third, fourth part of the challenge, and she was still in that mud pit. And I don't know if you saw her when she came out, but the front part of her face was clear. She was taking so long because she was being precious about getting mud on her face.
Yeah, yeah. I like that you use the word precious.
Well, I mean, I would be. I wouldn't. I mean, so Jared and I were like joking.
I think it's probably more about not wanting to get mud in your eyes.
Yeah. Jared and I were joking about how I would just be like, no way, I'm not doing this challenge. I lost. Let's just say I lost this challenge, and I'll just sit it out. Okay.
You would check out some of the rewards though. Those ones where you've got to pick up food with your fingers. Like you would be, no, I'm out of this reward.
Yep. Yeah, totally. Yeah, there are just like so many of these challenges that I just like. There was one where it's like, yeah, just dive into the ocean. No way am I diving in the ocean. But can you remind me what the rest of that challenge was? I remember there was.
I can't remember what all of it was, but there was, there was the barrel. Oh yeah, there was the rope that they had to throw into the thing so that they could then pull themselves over, where they had to stand on the barrel.
I
and
thought
balance.
I thought that was very clever. So like it was basically one challenge broken into two pieces. It was really clever. I like that a lot.
And that one can really wreck people. That barrel. So sometimes there's people that just cannot get past it, but they all got through it.
Didn't Christina fall off?
Yeah, she hurt herself a couple times. I mean, you mentioned before where she yelled out a big ow when she sort of came down.
Yes, on
one of those slide things, but she sort of was okay.
Yeah, she was definitely limping though.
Came off the barrel, and because she was sort of close to the end, she was sort of tried to push herself a little bit further and landed on her tailbone again. And I thought, yeah, that really would hurt.
Yep. But there was
towards the end, they got
go.
to the bit where Sophie had her advantage, where there was sort of like a bit of a puzzle with metal sort of circles and bars going across, where you had to kind of kind of not thread through, but get the
You had to
rings in the
work
right
the
place
ring
for the
up to
bars.
the top so you
Yep.
could get it off. Yeah.
She had
And
an advantage that meant half of it was done for her already.
yeah, and in that little bag that was attached to that was one of the puzzle pieces, if I remember correctly. So they couldn't that they needed that. So Soph's advantage was that hers was halfway up the pole already.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty significant advantage, but obviously unhelpful in her situation. Because
Didn't help her
although,
with the net.
yeah, it definitely didn't help with the net.
You got onto the puzzle though.
Yeah, she certainly did. But
Well, everybody did actually, didn't they? I think
yes,
Christina might
everybody
have
got to the
even gotten
puzzle.
that. Yeah.
But Savannah was just killing it on that puzzle. She did
Yeah.
really well.
I will say it feels like we've had a lot of just jigsaw puzzles at the end
Mm,
this season. It's not unusual for them to have a lot of puzzles, but I feel like a lot of them have been kind of the same or very similar puzzles, like where they're
yes.
just sort of straight jigsaws. Sometimes they'll do more where they're sort of more 3D puzzles, like a cube, or they'll do things a bit like that with the metal rings that we were talking about before, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll often vary them up a little bit more. But these sort of jigsaw ones, I mean, they're okay to do occasionally, but I feel like we've had a lot of them. And one of the things about them is that I feel like they're less likely for someone to be able to catch up because it's the sort of puzzle where just the more of it you get, the fewer pieces you've got left that can fit into the
Yeah, it's
remaining
an
slot.
accelerated puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really allow for a catch up. So I was a little bit disappointed that it turned into another just jigsaw puzzle because it didn't really feel like anyone was ever going to catch her once she got ahead. Because she sort of got to the she got to the bit where they had to go up the bars first, and then Rizzo came in behind her and then passed her on that,
Yep.
and then she started the puzzle a little bit behind him, but is just better at puzzles. We've
Yeah.
seen time
Poor
and time
Rizzo.
again. I'll just switch to one thing from the interview from the On Fire podcast. They were talking about how there were only 10 days before the returning players for season 50 went back onto the island,
Yep.
and Jeff asked him, "Oh, so did you use those 10 days?" I thought he was going to ask about fire actually, but he said, "Did you use any of that time in the 10 days to sort of brush up on puzzles?" And he said, "Look, I'm just going to be honest with the Survivor fans. No, I did not."
I look forward to him.
It's like I spent time with family and I ate and just took some time out, and no, I did not spend it doing puzzles.
Yeah, I look forward to him crashing and burning on future puzzles. There was one thing that I wanted to point out that I saw a fair bit of actually in this entire 2 episode thing. There was a lot of Sophie looking at what other people were doing.
Right.
She was there was a lot of like she's so focused on what other people are doing rather than what she's doing.
Oh, when she looked at the puzzle. Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't just this one. There was definitely something another time
Okay.
that it was happening, and I was like, "Oh, what are you doing, Soph? If you want to win this, stop looking at what other people are doing and just focus on your stuff."
Yeah. I guess I'm in two minds about that. Like for that particular puzzle, it probably wouldn't have helped. There are some puzzles where there's sort of a trick to it, and once you know something, maybe it helps you. And at the point where she's third or fourth into the puzzle, third
Mm,
probably, you're probably unlikely to catch someone who's good at puzzles if
yep.
you're coming in third and behind them just doing it natural. So I
Mm.
kind of get just in case there was a trick to it or something. But she was never really going to catch her.
No, definitely not.
Unlikely.
Yeah, so Savannah finishes her puzzle, wins the challenge, so wins immunity and a meal at the sanctuary, if I'm not mistaken.
Steak and carrot cake
Yeah,
and
and she chooses one
red wine.
person to take with her, and she ends up taking Sage, which I thought
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
interesting choice. And finally, someone's making an interesting choice. Because I mean, it's way too late for it, way too late in the game for interesting choices to be made. But and I actually think this was when we saw them having a meal together because they've been a bit at odds with each other, I would say. over the course of
Mm.
the show. So it was good for them to just have a sit down and just be like, I mean, there's no hard feelings or anything. It's just all part of the game. And
Do you think that's just what it was? I know
well,
that's a
obviously,
loaded question.
so I don't know if at that stage Savannah had fully thought through that basically the two people who are going to go home were either Christina or Sage. I don't know if she'd actually thought that through when she was making that choice. But either way, she did. Um,
Yeah. Well, the other parts of it are you just feeding someone who you're going to have to go against the next challenge with. So you sort of don't want to be feeding someone who might beat you in the last one. So she must have thought that Sage wasn't enough of a threat.
mhm.
And the other part of it is just sort of jury management. Like if Sage ends up going home, do you want to try to
Do a
get
good
a
thing,
bit
yeah,
more in her
yeah.
good books before she's on the jury?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, to be honest. Did
That
spend a
that's actually a massive part of it.
okay, okay. That's a good
Yeah.
point. So back at camp, while all this is happening, Christina is like, "Oh, we should really get Sage out, right? Yeah, we're all doing Sage. Yeah, yeah, yeah." Everyone's on board basically, and this is when Soph is like, "Oh, I can't believe it. I was hoping to get rid of Savannah, and now there's no way that I can do it." It's just like, oh, you
I was
seriously.
ready to make a big move.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, how many episodes have you been saying that for? It's just like you blew your chance. You had your chance, you blew it, and that's what makes some of the stuff that happens later in the episode so disappointing to me. Um,
Yeah,
uh, but but Sage with Savannah is like, okay, so you've seen how good this is all new information to us. You've seen how good that Christina is at Fire Challenge. If she goes to Fire Challenge against one of you, she's totally going to win.
yeah, and really good point.
Yeah. Um,
And possibly something they'd already been thinking about, but we'd never heard it.
yeah, and Savannah, I don't know if Savannah had already thought about this, but yeah, she's like, yeah, you're right, and I think that's the right decision. Um, they go back and there's the first time with their little triad that Rizzo and Savannah are not on the same
Savannah.
page.
Yeah, and I wrote down something that she said was, "We don't like Christina." It's like, okay, boss.
Yeah, okay, thanks for telling me how I feel about someone. Because I'm pretty sure Rizzo doesn't really feel that strongly about Christina.
Yeah, like I know Savannah and Christina are at odds. Like, yeah, I do wonder whether Rizzo feels similar. He doesn't. We haven't heard it.
No. In fact, I would probably say we haven't seen a lot of interaction between Christina and Rizzo.
We haven't seen a lot of interactions with Rizzo with anyone really, apart from
Mm.
Savannah and Sophie. Not a lot. There was a little bit with Sage, but yeah, I feel like all through the series. I remember mentioning it on an earlier one.
Well,
Not sort
before,
of one on one. I'm sure it happened, and we just don't see it because
yeah, so
they're always having to choose what to edit. But
he had a bit of time with Jawan and Nate. I know that. I
yeah,
remember that from early in the season. But yeah,
mm.
because they left, it was pretty much like and Jawan sort of distanced himself from their little group. But yeah,
And when we did see those, he was actively sort of trying to do something, whereas the other times we've seen Savannah one on one with people, like one on one with MC, one on
mhm.
one with Christina, they were all kind of adversarial.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, she's always the whole show she's been an adversarial player. And they talk about
Remember
how
her stealing the puzzle piece or trying to steal
yeah,
the
diving
advantage from
for it.
MC?
Yeah. It's just like, oh my god, she's insane. What was she gonna do with that? Oh yeah, that still blows my mind that she dived for it, like really dived for it. Um, but MC got it. It's such a shame about MC. Anyway, I won't get
Oh
back
yeah,
onto
so
the MC.
later on we'll go back, but later, I've written down all the things that we put in our went at the halfway point after the merge, where we talked about what we thought of all the jury members and how we thought they'd go.
Yep.
I listened to that again this morning and just wrote down some of the more interesting notes from what we said. So
Yep.
we'll do that at the end.
Sure. So we go to tribal council, and the rift between, I mean, obviously editing, they don't want us to know who they're going to vote for. But they have, what we see, the situation with, are we going for Sage or for Christina, hasn't been resolved at the time. But at that stage, I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Christina.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately, I already knew it was going to be Christina, so I can't really add anything here because of being spoiled earlier.
Yep. So there were at tribal council. There is this whole. There's actually a little bit of conflict between, because Christina starts talking about how great a social player that Sage is, and about all these things she's done, and then Sage is like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just like trying to survive here."
Yeah, it was an interesting side effect because, effectively the way she was trying to stay in was by talking up Sage as too much of a threat. But the side effect of that was that when Sage, makes it later to final three, she's already had someone talking about her, sort of buffing her game.
Mm.
So already it's like, okay, there's like if she gets there, there's going to be a little bit more impetus because it just seems like Savannah's going to run away with it at this point, right?
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. But it does end up that I'm pretty sure unanimously they send Christina home.
Yes. So Savannah, had the word on that. They could have they were disagreeing about who to go for, but she ultimately either convinced them
Force them.
or yes.
Yeah.
Rizzo plays his idol finally
Yeah, and it was, and at
with less
the
theatre.
after show, they addressed the fact that everybody wasted their idol. Nobody actually played their
Mm,
idol properly.
mm.
And that the advantage was played incorrectly as well. It's just like, oh yeah, so many things done wrong. So many things done wrong.
Yeah. And they sort of reference as well. I think it was in 46 where like it was 3 or 4 people in a row got voted off with an idol.
Mm,
So since then, there's kind of been people let's just play it and not waste it.
mm.
So Rizzo hanging on to it was sort of going against sort of the current thinking on idols, I guess.
Yeah, and I remember he gave a talk about how he wanted to show people to go back to that sort of having an idol and not playing it sort of
Use
game.
it
Like, yeah,
offensively, yeah.
yeah, rather than defensively. But okay. So yes, so Christina goes home. Credits roll. Donald
And there's
Trump gives an
something just
amazing,
before the break,
inspiring speech.
that I wrote down where Sophie said something like, "I had my final." I forget the context now, but she said, "I had my final three speech ready to go." Oh no, that must have been Christina. I had my final three speech ready to go. I'm like, yeah, okay. I I'm not sure that you were going to get there, Christina.
Yeah, she's obviously, maybe when you're in that sort of bubble that things can
Oh,
seem
for
one
sure.
way when reality is a completely different way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how that. Anything can happen, but yeah, so she seemed very unlikely.
Mm. I was Okay, so I predicted last week that Sage would be the one to go this week. So I was actually kind of surprised because we didn't know
We
about
didn't
this whole
know about
fire
the
thing.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was a big surprise for me. Oh God, sorry, always doing dumb stuff with the dog. Um, but yeah, so that was the end of that episode, and we come back, and the four of them are back at camp, and I don't think
I don't
there's a.
even. No, I think they went straight into another challenge because that was the
Oh,
bit I saw when I started the next one. They're walking up to the next challenge, and they're
oh yeah.
doing a
So,
drone
but it
shot.
was the next day. Yeah. So we didn't see anything. Yeah, that's right. Because I don't remember anything between those two things.
No,
Um, So this, you're gonna have to remind me on this. I always get, when there's multiple challenges, I always get them mixed up. But if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
this challenge had a lot of steps.
they started in the ocean, and there was
That's
like a
right.
little bit of swimming. They had to dig under the
Dig under the
log.
pole. Yes, that's right. And there were sandbags in there
Yeah,
as well. Yeah, I remember now.
the most interesting bit was and I know you didn't know this, but the bit with the cage and the two paddles, I'm pretty sure was totally new. They'd never done that before.
Yes, I remember that. So before they got to that, though, they had to walk along a balance beam and untie things while they were on the balance beam,
Yep.
which I thought, that's interesting. They had to untie 3 things, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Um,
again when it's hot and you've hardly had anything to eat.
yeah, so I don't think anyone fell off. So that was actually pretty impressive.
No.
But gee, Soph just struggling with getting that ball out of the cage, just really struggling so much.
Yeah, and I don't know whether she was doing it because she was trying to catch up and make ground, but you could see the others were sort of doing it bit by bit, little steps, whereas
Yep,
she had a paddle that she was sort of really coming in at an angle from,
from the top.
from the
Yeah.
top.
Mm.
But I thought that's never going to work. Although when you see her actually do it, she did still have it on a fair angle when
Yeah.
she got it. So
Yeah.
I guess it was possible.
But this was just like the previous challenge. She was way behind, not even a little bit behind. She was like massively behind.
Yeah, and again,
Um,
heaps more sort of I'm no good at this, or what am I doing?
so
Um,
yeah, and yeah, she was
yeah,
very, very talking very negatively through this whole thing. And you know what? It was kind of annoying to hear. It's like, come on, we don't need to hear this. Um, so the next part of the challenge, once they've got the ball,
so you're annoyed, Ben.
yeah, I, I find people pitying themselves really annoying because that's what it is. It's all self pity.
I mean, they're not announcing it to the room. They're just saying it to themselves, and they've got like massive, awesome mics that are picking everything up.
Yeah, I think I guess if it was me, I would just hate myself quietly. Okay, so the next part of the challenge, after they've got the ball out, 2 balls actually out of the cage, if I remember correctly, they had to get 2 balls out because he kept saying 2 balls. Oh no, I
He
think
did
one
say that. I
one
think the
was in the
first ball might have been
bag.
somewhere else. Yeah,
And yeah, the other one was already in the cage. Yeah, okay. So once they got the ball out, they then had to assemble a puzzle, which was the path along which they would have to guide the 2 balls.
yeah.
Uh,
Rizzo's cooked chat
yeah. Did Rizzo even finish
again.
the puzzle? I can't remember. I don't think he did.
No, I don't think. I don't know why he was struggling so much with that. It just Savannah didn't seem to have much trouble with it, and
Yeah.
both smashed it
Yeah, and actually, speaking of Savannah, she's like again just way out ahead of everybody.
in front. Yep.
Yeah, she's just killing it.
Because to this point, she's just done an awesome job of getting rid of anybody who was decent at challenges.
Oh, and
She
actually,
sort of said that in the On Fire podcast as well. She was saying, "Look, I'm not super strong, or I'm not super fast, or the fact that she ends up winning so many. She's sort of not a weird, but she's not necessarily the first person you choose to be someone to like, yeah, equal the number of wins
yeah,
that she did.
we didn't talk about that. So in the previous
She's
challenge,
eliminated so many people.
she had equaled the tie of any other woman. The number we're
Yeah,
winning
yeah. So
the
the
number of
fifth woman to
challenges.
get
Yeah.
4, yeah, individual
Yeah,
wins. Yeah.
and here during this challenge, I'm like, here she goes. She's going to get the 5th one right now.
And Jeff was telling them all about it. He
Yep,
kept going on and on.
yep,
And if she'd won another one, she would have. It sounded like there were 4 or 5 men who had done it before. Yeah.
yep. So yeah, so Savannah assembles her puzzle first and starts moving the ball down the path, but is having some serious trouble. And it actually does not look easy. It looks kind of hard.
It looks fairly heavy as well.
Yes.
That board, yeah, it would be hard to um move it just enough.
Mm. So all the
We don't
while
see her fail over and over again,
we see her
though.
fail
Like
once,
we see it
but
a
she
little
definitely
bit.
fails more than once.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she's struggling quite a lot. And I get it because she's tired. They've just done a strenuous thing to get to do this
Yep.
puzzle, which is very clever. It's always very clever puzzle design. Wear them out and then make them do a control thing.
Yep.
Um, but by the time she's trying, we see her trying. Everyone is caught up. So except, of course, Rizzo, who can't manage to do the puzzle. Even Soph.
And a lot of those puzzles are about you sort of have to get a touch with it as well. Like you sort of had, it's not unexpected that you would fail something once or twice until you kind of get the hang of it.
Yeah. But Soph just puts a puzzle together really quickly. And again, this was one of those points where she's like looking over at what other people are doing. And I was like, oh, you really need to focus on yourself, Soph. You are quite a way behind. Completely surprises me after that. Blows through the first ball. I mean, it just goes straight up. I'm like, holy shit.
She kind of knows she has to be aggressive. Well, it doesn't have to be, but she knows she's behind. She has to. She's incentivized to be aggressive on the first one.
Yeah, it's like going hard on Can't Stop. That's what it's like. But yeah, she blows through the first ball and then just gets the second. It's very impressive, very, very impressive. I gotta say, she killed that. Herself. And even Jeff was surprised. He's like, "Oh my god, she's doing this!" Because that first ball. I mean, did you see how quickly she did that? That was very fast. Real quick. Yeah. The second one, she towards the end, she was like, "Okay, I need to show a bit more control now because this could mean."
Which is the right way to do it. Yeah.
Risk
mitigation.
But she wins, and I actually thought, "Oh no, she's going to cry." No, good job, Soph.
She did tell a grandma story though.
Yeah,
which I wrote down grandma story for Ben.
Yeah, and do we hear that grandma story?
Yeah, we hear more about it later.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, we get it. Some people like their grandparents.
She put her career aside, Ben, to look after her grandmother in a carer role.
So anyway, I know
she named the tribe, trick them as has been done many, many times before. Someone suggesting a word that has an alternate meaning.
Is that like how several means seven? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, that's slightly different. It's at this point that someone says something about, it might have even been Jeff, about it being a fever dream. And I thought, that's interesting because you know how I said the episodes were split up in two? It was actually the first episode, at least on the app that I was looking at, that was titled Fever Dream. It was kind of interesting that the quote ended up happening in the second half, not the first half. But anyway.
So yeah, she wins immunity, which is, I mean, it really could not have come at a better time for her. And when she won it, I thought, oh, she's going to send Savannah and Rizzo. That's what she's going to do.
I wasn't sure who she would go. Yeah, okay.
Because she's talked her whole game that she doesn't want to go to Final 3 with Savannah. So she's hoping that Rizzo is going to win the fire challenge and get rid of her.
Yeah, and I feel it's hard to know. I feel like even Rizzo would still probably win if he got there, but yeah, okay.
So I was thinking to myself during this challenge about all the different scenarios about if whoever wins, what would they do with the remaining ones? They get back to camp after Sopha's won though, and she's like, "Look, I mean, you guys are obviously all going to try and like convince me and stuff, but I mean, I think I'm not gonna make my decision before we go to tribal, so there's just no point. I'm gonna keep my own counsel." Want
people talking to her, yeah.
Yeah.
And she also told them, "I'm not putting myself up," which is with the other big choice, like. Because the other kind of thing that you could do is say, yeah, look, I think I need a bit more on my resume. I haven't quite got enough. So the other thing she could have done would be to say, all right, I'm going to go to fire against Savannah and say, if I beat her, I can go there at the end and say, Savannah would have beaten any one of you at the end, but I took it on myself to take her out when none of you could.
Well, it was a good decision that she didn't do that.
Sort of thinks, I might have enough. Well, we don't know how she might have gone. But Savannah did pretty well.
Yeah, and this is actually when we find out, because all the other three are like, oh, I guess we better learn how to make which I found hilarious. It's like,
That
oh,
was the point. I thought, oh, that's no good.
yeah. It's like, oh,
No
okay.
good.
So, what have you guys been doing on the island exactly? Just lazing
Well, before
around?
that there was before that there was something. Savannah kind of got a little bit annoyed with Soph, sort of
That she
about the
wouldn't.
fact that she thought she
Mm,
might send her. It's like, oh, we've been mates the whole way through, and I thought we were close, and whatever.
yeah.
And now she's sort of turning around and gonna maybe send me. I'm like, that's the game, Savannah. Like, why are you surprised? Like, I get that you don't want people to turn on you earlier, but you're at the last four. Like,
Mm,
you've got a thing of three. Like, if you actually think that no one is going to turn on you, there, like, it's surprising that no one had tried to turn on her sooner. It's yeah, that it sounded a bit odd to me that she thought. I mean, I know she said that she was almost closest to Sophie of anyone, which was sort of interesting as well, given how much we've seen of her and Rizzo. But yeah, that
I think this was more,
a bit
oh,
odd to me.
woe is me, oh, boo hoo. That's how I took it anyway. It's like, well, so there's this show called Survivor Savannah. I'm not sure if you've heard of it before, but it's where basically people compete against each other.
Yeah,
It's a really interesting concept.
but when you look back at everything that's happened, they really haven't had to switch it up much. Like, she's pretty much had her crew for a while. The three of them were in like a minority, and
Hmm.
it's interesting going back and listening to that merge stuff. I'll get back to later about what we said at the time and
Mm.
about basically about how the fact that the three of them were in a minority. Um, she's basically just stuck with them the whole way, and the only thing that sort of changed was when Sophie, Yellow Sophie, sort of came
Flipped.
in, but was
Yeah.
she really in? Savannah
S-
really hasn't had to switch or have people double cross her at all. The whole way through was sort of a pretty straight line to
Mm.
her getting to where she got to.
Yep. Um, so everybody, I mean, we're given a montage of how terrible all three of them are at making fire.
Well, no, Savannah got it pretty quick actually. Remember, she said, "Oh yeah, I don't know how this is going to go. I better start practicing." Oh, a minute after like a minute, I got it. Oh, okay.
Oh, so that's how you do it. Okay.
Yeah.
um. So then they go off to tribal council.
And Rizzo's sort of doing Jeff quotes, I think, when he's practicing for fire. I forget exactly what he said, but it was something that Jeff says all the time something about patience, I think. And patience, yeah, you might not have caught it, but he was
No,
he
I
was
didn't.
doing Jeff quotes per camera, as
Uh.
if he was commentating his own challenge.
So before they went to tribal council, though, I do remember one thing that I think that it was Rizzo that said, if you're going to send anyone, send me against Savannah. I think he actually said that.
Yeah, which was a pretty good read, I think.
Yeah, which didn't work out. But anyway.
Well, I feel like if he had got carried to last four, he kind of loses some legitimacy as well. Um, he could have still been able to win, I think, even if that had have happened. But I think he the whole way along he's like, bring it on. I sort of want to do everything. I want to, I'm not looking at mitigating risk. I just want to go at it and
Yeah,
do
good on
everything I
him.
can. Basically, it's been his credo the whole way through.
Yep. So we get to trouble, and Soph chooses Savannah and Rizzo to do the fire challenge. And I remember beforehand, Savannah's just like, oh no, oh no. She's just like, this is bad. And
But at the
Rizzo is
same
just,
time, I'm thinking if she can win this, she's home and hosed, surely.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think that, although since last week we were both just like, if she makes it to the final three, she's totally won. Um, but they do the fire challenge, and she kills it. She really just nails it. Really well done to
Yep.
her.
They have a couple of false starts each, but yeah, she
I mean, she
she
had a
definitely did
massive
stuff.
fire, and I mean, she was even leaning back. The fire was going so hard.
Yeah. I had another little disappointing kind of moment here, which I hadn't talked about again because I didn't want to spoil you at all. But there was a thing sort of a few weeks ago that I had seen on Instagram where Yellow Sophie had been someone had asked for like a cameo thing from her or whatever, and
Mm,
she was asked basically just to roast Rizzo.
mm.
So it was like 3 minutes of her just sort of jokingly roasting him. You know how the Americans sort of have that sort of
Yep.
convention or whatever. And one of the things she said was about fire, about him making fire. And I sort of I did note it, but I didn't. I thought, oh, I hope it doesn't sort of come down to. And then when he and Savannah were chosen for fire, I'm like, oh, that's what it was about, wasn't it? Like, I really wish I hadn't seen that. So,
Mm. So you
yeah, I
knew
didn't
he'd
want to
lost.
mention it to you.
Thank you.
Well, once it actually got to fire, um, so even some of the discussions we've had in the past, where I'm like, oh, I've just sort of got vibes that maybe Rizzo, gets far but doesn't win. Kind of, I'm sure that was still playing in the back of my mind a little bit. I didn't know that was how it was going to go necessarily, but it was always a chance. That's what it
Hmm.
meant. So maybe lawyers are coming after Yellow Sophie for saying too much before it aired. I don't know.
Yeah. So Rizzo is out, and it's just the ladies who are left.
And he states that he made his family proud, made his community proud, or something like that. Made a whole country proud. He says.
Yeah, I remember he
He's,
said that, and I was
he's
like, mm.
is that a little bit presumptuous,
Yeah.
Rizzo? Which country? Albania or the United States? Or
Yeah, aren't you
it's quite a
American?
big statement. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I enjoy his the way he goes off and sort of big notes himself now. Although it's an unusual thing for me to enjoy in a player, but you might have gone a little bit big there.
And he
I'm
asked Jeff
sure
to
there would
call
be
him
some
Riz
people
God
that
as he's going out,
yeah.
which he does. um, yeah. So that basically sets what the result is going to be. We both knew at that stage. Okay, Savannah's won this, and so they come to final jury, and there was one that I thought the most.
Before that, they sing Three Girls on a Beach.
Oh yeah, which I thought. Oh.
And they give
um.
us a little history as well. They talk about how it's sort of 20 seasons since three women made it to the final three.
Oh, is it
Quite
okay?
a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. So I didn't think much of most of the questions that were asked.
Okay. There's
Uh.
one question in particular that's got a lot of talk
Oh
since the
yeah.
finale. I know you don't watch any
No, I
or
don't.
keep track of
Well, the
anything.
fact that
Can
I
you guess
watched
which
the
one?
after show is huge. Okay.
Oh no, you got to watch the after show.
So the question that I thought basically killed, and it made me remember back to a moment earlier in the season when this was all happening after the merge. So the question was it was to Sage about how basically she backstabbed everybody and how they'd had the
Okay.
majority,
Yep.
and she just completely started voting everyone off who was
Yep.
in her majority.
Yep.
And I remember I mentioned this at the time, being like, "What is she doing? She's cannibalizing her own majority."
Yep.
And sure
And
enough,
she also had her whole story, and it was part of her answer about how she'd been in the military for 10 years and done intelligence stuff and all that, which by itself doesn't mean anything, really. Like, that shouldn't mean that you suddenly get more votes or whatever. But I did kind of like how she used it to frame the way she sort of went about doing things.
mm-hmm,
It kind of gave her some sort of intent. Like, because sometimes if you do things like take people out of your alliance, it's like, well, yeah, you were just sort of, I don't know, flying from tribal to tribal, and yeah, sorry, doing things on the fly, or didn't really have a plan. Or whereas if you can talk about, that you had some foresight or had some intent, it
mm,
people see it as more strategic and give it more weight.
Yep.
and she sort of used her background
Well, she
to
tried to anyway.
explain
I don't think
why
she
she
did a
did
very
things.
good job of doing that, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I thought that played okay. Yeah.
I know,
All
and
right.
I thought that announcement about what she'd done 10 years in the military and 5 years in intelligence, and about how she tried to reframe how she
Mm-hmm.
played her game, um, using that information. I thought, I think it's a little too late. It just felt like
Yeah.
that's a lot to take on. You're asking the
Yeah.
jury to basically go back through the entire game and
Yes.
recontextualize things that you've done, and they're just
Yes.
not going to.
And there's a line of thought, again, sort of amongst some of the people I listen to, that although people really want to do that at Final Tribal, you almost need to do it like the tribal beforehand,
So they got
or
time to think about it.
yeah, like so the jury can go back, that night and go, oh, hang on, what was she said that, and yeah, they can think about it.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily want to do it really early, but yeah,
Yeah, because earlier in the episode she said, "Oh, I've got some really good things," and obviously this was the good thing that she was going to drop during our jury. Um, but
and I kind
yeah,
of thought, oh, so what? That doesn't
that's exactly
mean
what I
anything.
thought. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right that she should have just done it earlier, just to give the jury time to think about what she'd done, rather than just expecting them to
Yeah,
do it on the spot, which they're totally not going to.
I don't think it was ever going to be enough to win her the ground she needed to win. But and one of the key people that she thought she might have the vote for was her friend Stephen,
But
and
no,
who I thought might vote for her based on what she said, but no, she didn't get it.
no, he voted for Soph, actually, which was interesting.
He
uh,
voted for So.
yes,
Did he?
he sure did.
Sorry, I would have my browser up with who voted for who. He voted for So. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain he voted for Soph.
I
Like,
thought it was I thought it was MC and Christina that voted for Sophie.
maybe I'm wrong, but I remember he said
Or
something
you don't
about.
have the wiki up.
No, I have the wiki, but I don't. I don't. This is a lot of info. I don't know.
I think when the votes got read out, I think I sort of noticed that it was the two African American women. I think
So
I noted that voted for Sophie.
it was only during the after show that he asked who voted for who. Um,
Oh, but we thought, oh yeah, maybe, yeah. Anyway,
but and on the wiki they don't actually have who voted for who. They just say show 521.
oh okay.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But didn't vote for
Um,
Sage.
so yeah, Jawan voted for Sage, because he's just all in on Sage.
I'm pretty
um,
sure it was Christina and MC actually.
okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it as well this morning when I was going over like our predictions and everything, and Christina obviously didn't like Savannah. There
Yep.
was sort of three different people that Savannah had a run in with. Christina, MC, and Joanne.
Yep. The three people who didn't vote
Um,
for her.
yeah, three people that didn't vote for her, and until sort of towards the end, she sort of had a bit of friction with Sage as well, who also couldn't vote for her.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
well, that was not the question that the community's sort of talking about. They're a bit polarized on Christina's question.
What was it? I forget. Oh,
It
that's
was
right. Can you
about
name? Oh, she was like, you basically just kept to your little group and didn't really get
yeah,
to know anyone. Can you like name a family member or a partner of everyone on the jury? And she basically couldn't
yeah,
do it. And it is a bit like, what really? Who cares?
yeah. So the polarizing part, sort of in the community, is there are people who feel like it shouldn't matter. It's outside the game. Who cares? Yes, it's a social game, but why should I remember who your family members are? And other people who are like, no, it's almost primarily a social game. It shows that you just stuck to your group. You didn't sort of reach out at all. Um, yeah, that's sort of almost like the least you could do. And that often when people ask questions, sort of soft questions like that, people don't necessarily think they carry a lot of weight, but the degree to which she failed the question
Mm.
was quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like she really boned on
Yeah.
that question,
She
and
she really
the
didn't know
fact that
most.
she ended up going on to win was really just based on how good the rest of her game was compared to the other people that were left.
Well, I also think the fact that how bad the game was of the other two remaining. I mean, I don't think Sage represented herself very well in this final jury.
Yeah,
And I think that Soph represented herself very well, surprisingly well, and that I'm surprised that people were buying that what she was saying, because it's just like, I think you guys forget how bad she was at this game, and that she basically used other people as a shield to get here.
yeah, but that can be okay. But yeah, okay, I don't want to shut you down there because I want to hear what you think. Yeah. So I wrote down that she said I came with all three elements of the game, and I think I wrote that down because I'm like, usually that's outwit, outplay, outlast.
Hmm.
I'm not sure the degree to which you did all three of those things.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you won a challenge at the end, which was awesome. But I'm not sure how strategically you sort of outwitted people, or
No.
you basically stuck with your three, and then the biggest decision that you had to make, you you stuffed it up.
Well, she also brought up during the jury about how she backstabbed Jeremiah by listening in on the conversation.
Oh, that one, they did enjoy that one.
Yeah, but I was also like,
You
that
thought
is,
that didn't play well.
no, I was thinking that is the only thing aside from winning the last challenge that you can say you did.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it.
Oh well, she did sort of talk about how the other two were very good at what they did, but the only reason they had the intel to do what they did was because I was crossing the divide. That sort of that I gave that some credit.
But no one trusted her in the last few shows. It's just like everybody's like, no, I don't trust you.
Yeah, yeah. It was interesting that she brought up that thing with Jeremiah as well, just because um, it meant nothing to anybody. Like, one of the things that's really hard for underdogs like that on a decimated tribe is that no one got to see the hard part of your game. That is a big thing to you. No one else really got to see it, or well, apart from Alex, right?
Mm.
And Alex obviously had a soft spot for her, but um, yeah, no one got to see it. But they did enjoy that story where she talked about hiding in the tree.
Yeah, they did.
I want to ask you, when she was going through all her stuff, although you didn't agree with it, were you? What was? Did you give her any chance
No,
at any point during the tribal?
no.
I did for a little bit. I thought, oh, she might be able to squeak this through.
She was very convincing, but you just can't ignore what Savannah's done, even though I don't particularly think she's a very nice person. Um,
Yeah,
uh, she made it through, and I also, so, and there's the thing that you were saying before where she's just basically done a straight line, not really faced adversity or anything because she's won so many challenges. There's
I
not
mean, she
really.
would say she would say that they went after her the entire time, and the only reason she did it was off her own back, winning the challenges. So I think she would argue with adversity, but I take your point.
Yeah, so I just mean that it's just like she's not really played. She's not. She formed her alliance, and that's basically the end of the game for her. That was basically it.
Yeah, the only one that they kind of did was Yellow Sophie, but they all sort of did that together.
Yeah, and we
They
discussed
pulled
at the
her over when
time.
they needed to.
Yeah, we discussed at the time that Sophie was thinking, "Oh, I'm in with this group," but no, she was totally not in that group.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
Well, I did give Sophie a chance for a little bit. Well, like when she seemed to be doing pretty well, the jury seemed to be receptive to what she was saying, and then when Savannah really flubbed her question, I thought, oh, if the jury feel that strongly, this could be enough. But I still thought Savannah was going to win. But yeah, I went into the final night thinking Savannah's unless something amazing happens, Savannah's going to win. And I kind of like the finale in the end, in that that Sophie sort of winning that last challenge and winning the advantage, and then doing reasonably well considering her game in the final tribal.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being like a reasonably entertaining finale.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
But yeah, it's just like they addressed so many things that occurred throughout the show in this episode with from the jury. The fact that um uh Sage was part of a strong alliance when the merge formed, and they had numerous opportunities to take Savannah out, and they all knew she's a strong player. Surely they knew if she gets to the final three, we are screwed. But
Yeah,
they just kept
but they
making
also thought
stupid
that of
decisions.
season. I think Yellow Sophie was the one. They were scared of Yellow Sophie from a challenge point of view, but I don't know that she. Yeah, I don't know that enough. Well, we didn't see it anyway.
Yeah.
That people thought enough of her for her to necessarily win.
And the fact that
Mind you,
they
we didn't have a very high opinion of Savannah's chances, as we'll go through shortly either.
yeah.
So
So I'm still surprised that they got rid of Steven. So I don't know why they were thinking that he's like some huge threat.
they thought he was decent at challenges and that everybody liked him.
Okay. There's just a bunch of really weird decisions that came back to hurt Sage.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so what was what was some of the things that we said earlier in the season, Michael?
All right. So these are just in the order that we did them, so that might not necessarily make sense here. About Alex, I said that I thought he would probably go in the next 3 or 4. That he wasn't going to go too much further. You said he's riding the fence too much, which absolutely turned out to be the case. Like it's basically the very argument that that Rizzo used for people to get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
And for someone who's supposed to be good at negotiating or whatever, he sort of fizzled really in the second half of the game based on what we saw. He didn't really do any manoeuvring. About Jawan, you said, "Oh, there's no way he's going to the end," and I said, "Yeah, he'll probably go soon." That we both sort of enjoyed him.
But he went longer than I thought he was going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say, yeah, he definitely came into his own a bit after he got out from under his original tribe.
Definitely. I you know what, I liked him more, even though he kept doing that "I'm a mastermind" thing, or the someone said my name, panic stations, everybody.
How did you like him filling the champagne
Yeah,
and sort
it's
of
like,
getting
whoops,
it all
I have
over his
not peed
truck
my pants
during the final tribal? Christina, we didn't really have very much to say because we just didn't rate her at all.
And I mean, I think that no one else rated her either, which is why she lasted so long. But eventually they got rid of her.
I had a memory that I thought I was going to hear me say, "Oh yeah, but maybe she'll go to final 4 or whatever," because people will
think
carry
that
her to the end. It just wasn't in this chat.
Yeah, you definitely said something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought she would go one step further. I thought they were going to carry her, but we didn't know about her fire. MC, and we did this right before MC went out the very next week.
I was so upset.
You said she's a big target. I hope she wins, but she probably won't. So you were right there.
Yep.
I mean, on balance of probability, that was most likely, but
yeah.
But you're right. Yeah, big target. Rizzo, I said, yeah, he's definitely a chance. You said, and I found this pretty interesting. You said he needs to get out of that alliance. He needs to get away from Savannah.
Yep. Because he's not. I just thought he's not actually doing anything of note in that alliance. He needs to get out and like try to do a move or something, do something big, and he didn't. And he only got that far because of that alliance, and it was either going to be him or Savannah in the end, and it was Savannah. So yeah, so it's just like,
yeah, right, okay. And at this point, the three of them were in an alliance, but they just had. We thought they had Nate with them at that time, and Nate had just been voted out. So we were thinking, oh, they've just been exposed. The rest of the tribe's gone against them, and they're in a not good position at the
That's right.
point we did this.
Yeah, which turned out to totally turn around. Yeah, it just they did
Yeah,
an amazing job of convincing everybody that other people were targets.
yeah. Savannah was next, but I'll leave her till last. Oh, and Sage probably. So Yellow Sophie. Oh, sorry, no, Blue Sophie. I said I think she has a better chance than she probably does. From the beginning, she's given me vibes of Final Five.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
reasonably happy with that.
And what did I say? I can't remember what I said.
I didn't really write anything down.
I don't think I
what
had. I think this was before she'd really, because at that stage of the game, she was just coasting along,
Yeah, and you thought she
riding
was
other
sort of
people's
being a bit
coattail. I just
annoying
thought
as
there's
well.
not
I think.
much
Yeah,
to her,
yeah, that's what you kept saying.
which I stick to, by the way.
Yeah, okay, yeah. She just seemed to sort of have the kind of personality that people might like to keep around. To me,
Mm.
and yeah, it was probably some edit stuff in the beginning. Yellow Sophie, the only thing of note we said was that I said, oh, she seems to be doing well in challenges, which she ended up doing more of.
Yep.
Stephen, you said everyone seems to think he's a weak player and are voting for him. I haven't seen him do anything. Will go far, but not to the end. You had a whole thing about, oh, why are they voting for him? Because he's
He doesn't
what was
seem
it? Because
like
he's
as
weak.
big of a target. That's
Yeah,
the thought I was going for. It's like there are much bigger targets to go for. Why are you not going for them?
yeah. Sage, you said, played really well so far. Don't think she'll want a bar of Savannah at all. Which, yeah, she didn't. It was only sort of right at the end that they started to get a little bit more on the same page when they really couldn't avoid each other.
Yep.
But that was right. All right, Savannah. So you said needs to do something in a weak position, closer to Soph than to Rizzo, has a very big problem.
And I stand by all of that.
It's fair to say that neither of us really put Savannah in a good position.
Yeah, I mean, they played it, and I actually don't think this was Savannah. I think it was Rizzo, because Rizzo did a lot of the social stuff with other people, because most of the others
Yeah,
didn't want to work with Savannah.
yeah. I think this was shortly after we'd seen her sort of go for MC's key as well.
Yeah, which was just bizarre. But yep.
I said I don't think she'll make it that far. Even if she does get through, I think too many people don't like her. She's
Yeah,
rubbed Christina, Sage, and MC the wrong way. Um, haven't seen her organise a vote. Just tells people how to vote, which is
which
interesting given that last one that we saw.
yeah.
So look, I mean, we were complete. Well, we were right and wrong. We were mostly wrong, but there were right bits in there.
Yeah.
I will say both Christina, and this is sort of why I noted it earlier. When I'm pretty sure both I said Christina, Sage, and MC, she rubbed the wrong way, and Christina and MC, I'm pretty sure voted for Soph, and Sage couldn't vote. So of the
Yeah.
three of the other, what is it, 9 people on the jury, I didn't think were ever going to vote for her, and she had to get the votes from somewhere else.
They didn't.
And she did.
Yeah, so it was a 5-2-1 vote, and 5. So if I think you're correct. And the other one who didn't vote for Savannah was obviously Joanne, who voted for Sage.
Yeah. I also noted down just at the end we talked about who we thought the winners might be, but we didn't just pick a winner. We were shotgunning a bit. I said I put 3 names forward that I thought could win: MC, Sage, and Rizzo. Well, MC obviously went out the next vote, and then Sage and Rizzo went far. So I'm reasonably happy with that. And I said, Soph as an outsider for my 4th.
Okay.
So Sage, Rizzo, Soph, they were all right up
It's pretty
there.
good. Pretty good.
if I just ignore the fact that the winner I didn't think would go far, and even if she got there, she wouldn't win. But if I
Mm,
just ignore, the massive um, miss there, I did okay.
yep.
You said MC or Sage. You want Alex and Steven, but they won't.
Yeah, I
And
got it
both Alex and
completely wrong.
Steven didn't. Um, yeah, MC we were just wrong about. That was more probably just what we were hoping. Um, and Sage did go far.
She sure did. But I mean, we both knew that she probably wasn't going to win at the end. In fact, her final thing to the jury was really terrible. It was just oh, thanks, I'm really happy to be here. That was basically
Okay.
it. It was just
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, so we're not voting for you then, huh?
I thought she did okay considering, but I
But
guess maybe some of that is there's
it
a
was
lot
her
of
final
seasons.
argument. Like the other two were like, oh,
Yeah.
I did this,
Oh yeah, what did she say last? She said something really,
yeah,
really bad at the end. She
yeah.
was sort of
That's
like,
what I'm
"Well, how
talking
do I
about.
follow that up?" or
Yeah,
something.
and then she just said, "Look, I did everything that I achieved." She said, I wanted to get to the final three. I wanted to be in the final three with two other women. So I'm just really happy to be here. So thank you for the opportunity." That's what she said.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't a
watched
good
it just
closing
before
argument.
this,
Yeah, you're
and I just
right.
thought that's
Oh,
terrible.
yeah,
No wonder you only got one vote. God.
yeah.
Uh,
Um. Oh, I've
I
forgotten what I was
stand
going to say.
by that. This season is the season of missed opportunities. It's just like so many times. I
Yeah,
mean, they were like a whole bunch of them knew Savannah is a threat and had numerous opportunities to do something about it, but just didn't. And yeah, it's just really
maybe and it's making me wonder now whether maybe the fact that a couple of people liked her, didn't like her, almost gave her cover. Like it's almost like she was her own shield a little bit. And also, obviously, if Rizzo didn't have an idol, she just would have been way more exposed.
yes, yes,
The fact that he carried it that long just meant they were not game to have a shot because they
yeah, and
didn't know if he was going
even
to play it
that,
on her.
I was annoyed as well, but they just played such a weak game.
Yeah,
It's just like, are you
probably
here
the
to win,
biggest.
or are you just here to like backstab all the people who are working with you? You know, it's just so weird.
Yeah,
Anyway,
looking back, I think the biggest disappointment for the season for me, well, apart from Sophie misplaying hers, although that was, like I said all along,
oh,
that was low
well,
percentage that was ever going to happen. But it was the biggest disappointment that it didn't, because it
yeah.
looked
So
like, oh mate.
yeah, so I mean, the edit played as if, oh, maybe she'll do it, but no, it's just like, how can she be? How can the jury be so convinced of her after just last week she did a huge idiot move,
Yeah, they
massive?
didn't talk. They didn't show that in the edit at all. I have to think that that came up and that they've just left that part out so that it would appear closer.
Oh, okay,
Like it has to have come up,
yeah, I just
but we
can't
did. We
imagine
didn't
how it
see it
wasn't.
at the final at all.
Mm.
And I do wonder, in a different world, if Stephen didn't have his advantage, would she have gone for it or not, or would she still have balked and said, "I'm not going to take it off my ally"?
Yeah, we'll never
I
know.
mean, she was
In
saying to camera that she would, but
yeah,
she never.
she said lots of things to
Maybe she
camera.
never would have done it. Yeah, and if at the point where the only person you can play it against is your ally, does it? I mean, it sort of loses some credit there anyway.
Mm.
Like if you, yeah,
But it would have been a
but the
really
fact that she
good
could have gone
blindside
for
if she'd done
Steven,
it.
and if she went for Rizzo, even though she had Steven as an option, that's what makes it so cutthroat and so good.
Mm.
So that was disappointing. But the other big disappointment for me is, yeah, just looking back at the season, there really weren't very many. Like I said, it was pretty much a straight line season. There were not changes of sort of which group was on top or
Mm.
people shifting alliances or moving around. Like there's some seasons I could point you towards where the alliances are constantly shifting. Like there's one Australian one in particular where every week, like the lines of who's on what side are changing, or almost like tactically rather than just people sticking to their groups. This one
Yeah.
really ended up being the only real thing people that moved were Sage and Jawan. sort of moved at one point, and Yellow Sophie moved at one point.
Yep.
In a whole season, like that's really not that much.
Mm. I was just thinking something while you were saying it. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. No, if I remember it, I'll mention it.
The other big things to come out, obviously, we sort of alluded to it already, but both Savannah and Rizzo are going into Survivor 50.
That surprised me.
I mean, I picked Rizzo from a long way out, just his sort of personality, and I thought Jeff would like it. And um, yeah, to me, he's even putting aside that thing about what I said about Yellow Sophie's video. Even before I saw that, I just thought, oh, he's probably going to go out in a blaze of glory and then come back a second time with Jeff's blessing and maybe play just like a little bit different. Although it's a bit hard because he's only got 10 days in between, so he's hardly even got time to reflect
Mm.
on what he's done. He did say in the On Fire video that even though he's obviously friends with Savannah and played with her this time, that shouldn't necessarily mean he plays with her next time. I think it'll be a little bit hard to avoid, but he did float the possibility that they might go into Survivor 50, which all the other contestants won't have seen, that they might pretend that they were rivals. I don't
That's
know whether
interesting.
that sort of go. It is interesting, but are you going to be able to hold that as a lie? Like maybe if you start on different tribes, I guess you could probably pull that off.
Mm.
But if you start on no, they wouldn't put them on the same tribe, surely. But yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Survivor 50. We saw a short trailer at the end of the after show. The after show wasn't that interesting. Basically just Jeff saying, "Hey, here's all the ways that you guys boned your game."
The reunions used to be better. They used to sort of. I mean, mate, it used to be longer, so maybe you wouldn't have liked it either. But there used to be more sort of questions. How would you have voted if this other thing had happened? Or they'd bring up where two people clashed and how are you getting on now? Or yeah, they sort of went into the highlights of the season and relived some of them. But it's very short now that they don't do the reunions the way that they used to. Um, what else? Oh yeah, another interesting sort of choice for Savannah going into 50 is does she, and for Rizzo, do they state that she won? None of the other people will know whether or not she won. So does she
Maybe
own
Jeff will
it?
say it.
Uh,
He
yeah.
does say that sort of thing normally.
I think you're thinking of Jonathan doing it on the Australian one.
Yes, I am. So you're right. Well,
I
I've only
don't
seen
think
Jeff in
Jeff
one season, FYI.
does it as much. Yeah. So yeah,
Okay, well,
whether
so
yeah owns it
so
or
how
not.
many weeks have we got until
I
season
think it's in
50?
February.
Okay, all right, we've got a few weeks. So, my dear Survivor fans, which I guess I can count myself among now, I'm not going back to watch anything, by the way. This has been great. I have enjoyed it. And yeah, I mean, I stand by everything that I said that they kind of played a weak game. They didn't really take many risks. They weren't big moves. And I remember what I was going to say now. There are a lot of unanimous votes, which is not good.
They were. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, so hopefully I think season 50 is going to be completely different. Really looking forward to seeing Sari again. Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
can just
know.
imagine, like, you've got her that that now, so you're sort of going back, going, "Oh, I wonder how she'll go." Like I pretty much remember nearly all of these people who are coming back.
Okay, I
So
don't
what
remember
that's
any of
like to
them.
see them coming back. Well, you'll know Rizzo and Savannah as well.
I
That's
look forward to
3 out of 18 or whatever.
yeah, I look forward to the wiki so I can remember people's names.
And some of these people are from way back.
Oh, like how far back?
Um, I think one of them's from the. Mostly, they're not from way back. I think there's one woman who's from the first five.
Wow.
I think, and there's a person who they've referenced several times during the season. I keep saying to you, oh, when they said Aussie, they were referring to a player who's whose name was Ozzy,
Yeah.
because I knew it was a point of confusion. He was the guy with a mustache and sort of curly long hair. I don't know if you noticed him at all
No.
during the preview, but he was known because he was just like a super good fisherman, super good swimmer, like really adept in the water and at climbing trees and all that sort of survival stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mean all the survivor stuff? Is that what you mean? It's like
Yeah, and
this.
things like people being able to light a fire, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like maybe like catch a chicken.
The thing that they could pretty much guarantee was going to be in the final four. Like, there's a whole lot of things that you don't know whether or not they're going to be in the game or not. But the lighting a fire at 5-4 was almost guaranteed to be there, and that they
Yep.
basically didn't practice for. Crazy.
Oh yeah. So
Even if no one else watches these, Ben, I really enjoyed talking about them with you. So
as
thank
have
you.
I. I have too, of course. I mean, the fact that I'm coming back for season 50 should tell you something. I am really looking forward to it. Uh, I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of people who've played the game and who won't basically be wimps.
Yeah, but there should definitely be more that happens, I think.
Yeah,
And
really looking forward
I
to it.
sort of alluded to the fact that the community is sort of a little bit, and they're not sure about all these celebs and everything that they're bringing in. But I think the reason they're doing is they're trying to maybe get some either new people who haven't seen it before, or people who've disengaged from Survivor to maybe just come back and watch a little bit. And during the On Fire podcast that I listened to this morning, he said he sort of said, "Oh yeah, get your friends to just watch the premiere of season 50 and see whether or not they stick," because he seems to think the premiere is pretty epic.
Okay. I can't
So
wait.
we'll
Now I'm
see.
looking forward to it. Okay.
Thanks, Ben.
No worries. Thank you, everyone. Until season 50 in February sometime. Bye.
See ya.